So next we move on to data type. So imagine you want to create a calculator program. So you receive a value from user, then you need to do calculation. But before you do the calculation, you need to store those value. So let's say user press number 9. So you need to store value 9 into the program. So where we can store the value is what we call variable. Variable is like a vessel or empty place that going to store a value, let's say in this case 9 from the user. So you need to create a variable. It's very simple. You just type any name, let's say num1. Let's say num1 is the variable name, and then what is going to be the value going to be stored. So equal it means it going to accept the value that written after equal going to be assigned into num1 or going to store in num1 variable. So num1 equal to 9. So here is basically we store number 9 into num1 variable. Num1 is an integer data type. So if let's say we store value 9.123, so num2 equal to 9.123. So 9.123 is a decimal value. So when we initialize this type of variable, the computer automatically assign the data type. So for num1 is a whole value, so it's integer data type. And num2 is a decimal value, so it's float data type. And other type of data type that we have in Python is string. So string is basically a character or words or sentence that is we store in a variable. So let's say we want to store a string. So let's say flower equal to, if we want to store the string, we need to start with double quotation mark. So start with double quotation mark or single quotation mark, and then the string that you want to store. Let's say maybe flower rose. So rose will be stored in flower variable. And here is a string data type. And again, you don't have to initialize. You don't have to mention it is a string data type. You don't have to mention it's either a float or a integer. It's automatically done by the compiler. So when we create this all data type, we want to access them. We want to use them. So this is where we use string functions so that we can display all the value that is stored in the variable. So we have 3 variables. So we want to display num1, we want to display num2, we want to display flower. So use print function and then print bracket the variable name. The variable name that you want to display. Let's say print num1. So when you click run, so you can see that the output of the program is 9. This is because we use print function to display value inside num1, value that is stored num1. If you write here num2, it's going to print out or display the value that is stored in the num2. And also for flower, you can just write flower variable here. So it will display rose, and there's no the bracket, the double quotation mark is not displayed in the terminal. Because like the double quotation mark is just used to store string, but later on it will not going to be displayed in the output. Okay. And please note that you cannot use a reserved word. You cannot use reserved word to define your variable or to name your variable. Let's say we have reserved word if, for, while. So you cannot use those words to name your variable. And you can look at the lecture note. So I list out all the reserved word. So you cannot start the variable name with this name. So let's say if, you can see that if is color, right? Because it's a reserved word. But you can use it afterward. Like say what if. So that is a legit variable name. And other than that, we can store a number as a string also. But how we can do that? Just by place double quotation mark in front of 9. So let's say result equal to double quotation mark 3. So 3 here, if we print the result, you can see it's written, the output is 3. So but you need to know that the 3 here is different from 9 stored in number 1, because the number 9 stored in number 1 is integer, but result that store string number 3 is behave differently. This is a string and that one is a number. Okay, let's do something more with our variable, because we already initiate the variable. Then let's do some operation. So let's create a new column. So you just hover above the terminal, then see plus code there, click plus code, so we have new column. So we can write a new code without you need to delete the code we write earlier. So let's say we are going to do simple additional calculator. So simple additional calculator. So we want to store two value and then use plus sign to create to do additional operation, then display the result at the terminal. So first we store two value. Okay, let's say the first value is in num1 variable and 3.33, just a random value, and num2 store another value 2.44 maybe. Okay, then after we store the value, we're going to perform the operation. So performing operation. So when we perform operation, we need to store the outcome or the output of the operation. So let's say the operation, we want to store it in the result. So result equal to, the plus operation is between num1 and num2. Num1 plus num2. So now num1 plus num2, and the total of num1 and num2 is stored in result variable. So we display print result. Okay. So click run, then we can see 5.77. So this is plus operation. You can also do other operation, plus, minus, divide, and multiply. For divide, use slash function, and for multiply, use star function. Okay, so this is for multiply. You can see 8.152. Okay, so next, besides we can do plus operation or minus operation to numbers, we can also actually do plus operation on string. So a new column. So let's initiate two string. So let's say name1 is equal to double quotation mark and Ali, and name2 is equal to, we store, let's say, John. So when we perform addition operation on string, result, we also use result equal to name1 plus name2, and display print result when we click run. Okay, so this is what you get when you have something error. It's called syntax error. Basically, your writing, your coding is, there's some error in the format that you use. So okay, so here you can see that we have two string variable. So when we perform plus operation, it basically take those words and put it together. Ali, John, just merge them into one into one. It saved that into one variable, which is in result. So it become one. Ali, John. So basically, you can see that in numbers, plus operation basically do basic arithmetic, plus, minus, multiply, and dividing. But when it come to string, you can only perform plus operation. There's no minus operation. There's no multiply operation. There's no dividing operation. Basically, the plus operation is to merge the words or the string together.